Morning, everybody. Welcome to Flashback Monday. This is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Tina. I hope you're having a good day, and we will cross our fingers that the video does not go garbled. And if it does go garbled, could you please run closed caption or just mute it and let the video play out? And since I will show you all the books mentioned, at least you will know what I was talking about by the pictures. I would really, really appreciate it. Um, and also check out Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday, which 100% of those videos go garbled. And Flashback Monday, it depends. Sometimes it's 5 minutes in, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 28 minutes in. And I will finger cross this whole video. I will cry if it comes out garbled, but there's nothing I can do about it. I have no other computer. This is it. And I work really hard on these videos. It takes a couple of weeks to gather all the materials for each video. And then we spend an hour to 2 hours going through each book. I recommend 4 and 4.5 star books. So you can find a Regency, a contemporary romance, a suspense, a mystery, a historical, Harlequin, sci-fi. I recommend them all. I give you all these different options. Maybe you'll find a new author here. That's the goal, to recommend you to new authors. So Flashback Monday. All the books in this magazine. This had 278. This is November 2011. I hope you stay tuned for my if thens the last couple weeks. I really got into Halloween. I did horror, I did suspense, I did thriller. I did cozy Halloween. I did not so cozy Halloween, and then I did extra cozy Halloween. And I had a few that I forgot about, and I went nuts during the video trying to find them, and couldn't find them, so I didn't include them. And after I did the video, I found them. That's always the case. So let's talk about November 2011. You can still get these books today. These are still available from Amazon, from your library, from your local bookstore. These are still out there. So let's talk about these books. And I have got to. Oh, I've got that one. Excuse me. Okay. I hope that does not screw up my audio. If you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it too. So, who's Holly and Hook? We have nice articles, but they also do tons and tons of reviews. Maybe I'll do a video on wild ride romances. Maybe for uh, February Romance Month. Oh, if you have not read L.A. Banks books, I forgot to get them. Please check out her Vampire Huntress series. First of all, it's an African American vampire huntress series. I think it's the only one ever written, and it's a really good series. I enjoyed these books. They're awesome. You must check them out. They are unique books, and no one has ever come close to doing what she did with these. They are very, very unique books. Um, uh, if you aren't familiar with L.A. Banks or Leslie Banks, aka Leslie Esdale Banks. Please allow me to humbly include a few highlights. She was a prolific writer, moving easily amidst multi-genres: romance, women's fiction, crime suspense novels, paranormal, and young adult. Um, I used to tease her about knowing the secret to getting 30 hours in a 24-hour day, but Leslie never squandered a minute. As New York Times and US Today best-selling author, Leslie has produced over 42 novels and 23 novellas. If there's any of her series, check out the Vampire Hunter series. I also featured her in one of my if thens. If you could please go check that out. About black authors, and that was with my older computer, so the sound was okay, but my older computer has died, so you're stuck with this. And I didn't believe in a factory wipe. I just I got scared, so I'm screwed myself. We will talk about Christine Higgins in a few minutes. We will also be talking about Joanne Flukes and Debbie Makeover in a few minutes. I'm gonna do, this has given me an idea. Books that feature plane crashes and romances. Watch for that coming up in 2025. Okay. Book 1. Sharon Page. Engaged in Sin. Engaged in Sin. I have some of these down here. I have this one and this one. I need to get the other ones. I donated quite a few to the library and I never should have. I want those books back. I really do. And I hope my audio is still here. So, Engaged in Sin, 4.5 stars. Page seamlessly blends erotic themes into an intensely emotional love story. It isn't only the sizzle that rivets readers, it's the true passion and love that she infuses into the story that make it a deep read. Annie Beddington flees a London brothel believing she's a murderess and becomes a companion to the Duke of March. As Charisse, she becomes his mistress. Once handsome and sought after, Devon has returned from the war, blind, hostile, and reclusive. Annie Charisse does not shy away from his rages. Instead, she first seduces him with her courtesan skills and then brings him back into the light. Devon senses she's hiding something. Suddenly, Anna's past comes back with a vengeance, and though she attempts to run, Devon will not let her go. Oh, he's on the bottom of the pile. Oh, he's on the bottom of the pile. This lady has 2 books in this particular issue. Seduction of a Highland Lass, 4.5 stars. The second book in Banks' trilogy shows her ability to write fast-paced, sexually charged, emotionally intense romances. Her in-depth insight into characters and their sense of honor and commitment, accompanied by the broader portrayal of the interclan relationships, make this book enthralling. If you'll excuse me a minute. Sorry. Um, Alaric McCabe agrees to wed Riona McDonald's, the daughter of a neighboring clan, to form an alliance, but he's attacked and injured en route by unknown assailants. His horse carries him to a nearby cottage where Killy has been banished by her clan. She cares for Alec even when his brother Ewan comes and takes them both back to his home. And they fall in love. Oh, man, what is it with me today in my nose? Excuse me. Elizabeth Hoyt, Scandalous Desires. Jesus, not only does the audio go, but the visual goes too. Dude, where is. Excuse me. Alright. Scandalous Desires, 4.5 stars. This is the Maiden Lane story readers have been waiting for. Hoyt delivers her hallmark fairy tale with a romance and takes readers into the depth of her heart and soul of her characters. Silence Holbrook works with her brother at the foundling home in the worst part of London. She loves all the children, but especially Mary Darling, who was left as an infant on the home's doorstep. Silence becomes her mother, the most ruthless riverboat pirate in London's underworld. Mickey O'Connor deliberately left his child with Silence. Now his enemies have found out about Mary, and Mickey kidnaps his own daughter to force Silence to care for her in his den. 9 months ago, Silence went to Mickey for help, making a bargain that ruined her life. Mickey never forgot the night Silence went in his bed. She is a good woman who yearns for the bad boy, but as danger closes in and Mickey faces the gallows, there's a slim chance that love will set him free. So, Kieran Kramer, if you give a girl a Viscount. And here, 4.5 stars. The Last Impossible Bachelor story is a Cinderella tale with a delightful, imaginative Kramer twist. It was so easy to be caught by the lighthearted humor and emotional depth. Daisy Montgomery is saddled with a cruel stepmother and two selfish stepsisters as she dreams of her own Prince Charming. When she finds an old letter from her godmother, Daisy writes to her hoping fairy tales do come true. Charles Thorpe, Viscount Lumley, is an impossible bachelor with no funds. What harm can it do to go to Scotland and meet his grandmother's new-found goddaughter? He arrives in a miserable mood to find Daisy isn't like any girl he's met and that she needs his help to save her home. The Viper. This is a good series. We should do this series for my uh book series. The Viper. Monica McCarthy. Cartree, sorry. So, will a naked guy make you buy a book? Inquiring minds want to know. 4.5 stars. McCarty's newest Highland Guardian book stands out. Her dynamic, action-filled, and outstanding romance story is impossible to put down. A skillful blending of historically accurate events and finely wrought, believable characters gives the story tremendous emotional impact. The Macduffs hold the hereditary right to the King of to the throne, enthroned the King of Scotland. But when Lady Isabella performed this duty for Robert the Bruce, she was sentenced by King Edward of England to be hung in a steel cage. When reduced by the Bruce's men, when she's rescued by the Bruce's men, she is told she will be taken to the coronation by Lachlan Viper. Lachlan is viewed warily because he is a mercenary. He was betrayed by his wife and has sworn never to wed again. Bella shatters his resolve. So let's see what happens there. Now, we are going to be doing this lady's FBI series in the next couple of book episodes. And cross your fingers that my audio is still here. If you watched any of my if thens, this is important. My very, very first if then, we did, if you like the Bridgertons, then maybe you'll like the Mallorys, and Stephanie Lawrence Sinsters, and Catherine Coulter Sherbrooke's. She also tried this once, and she never went back to it. The Prince of Ravenscar. 4.5 stars. The Prince of Ravenscar contains as much mystery as romance. Coulter infuses taut suspense, chilling scenes, and tension into a love story. She begins with a rather typical theme, a widower needs new wife, then adds a dash of gothic romance. Lord Gillian Monroe is still haunted by the death of his wife, Lily, 3 years ago. He does not believe she killed herself, and her family believes he killed her. However, his mother thinks it's high time he remarry and has chosen Sylvie Wilkie as his bride. Sophie is 20 to his 32, and her vivaciousness, stubbornness, intelligence winning him over. She believes Julian is innocent of Lily's death, and they are destined for one another. We'll see what happens there. The lady's second appearance in our podcast is today. Never Love a Highlander. 4.5 stars. Banks' final volume in the McCabe Brothers trilogy reinforces her reputation for writing sexy, emotionally Highland romances. To seal an alliance between their clans, the Lairds arranged for Fiona MacDonald to marry a McCabe brother. Having previously rejected Alric, she is to wed Caelan. Love has nothing to do with the marriage. Fiona is far more interested in gaining abilities as a warrior princess. Go, Xena! um, Margaret Mallory. The Sinner. See how that works. I love this magazine. You cannot find, I got itch. You cannot find, this magazine is so rare. And they went online for 1 year digitally, and I'm very upset with myself that I never saved those, downloaded those copies, because they would be good to have, but they're gone. You can't even find them on the internet. Once in a while, some of these come up on eBay, but they're very, very rare. So 4.5 stars to The Sinner. Mallory's portrait of the 16th century Scotland and the lively adventures she creates for her characters certainly engage readers' emotions. Lady Glynis McNeil has escaped one marriage and is not interested in wedding again. Alex MacDonald is renowned on the battlefield and in the bedroom. He's never going to be a one woman man, but rescuing Glynis and the journey through Scotland creates a bond between them. We'll see. Um, Elliot Cara, Too Wicked to Wed. Too Wicked to Wed. You know, I have an issue with the covers that don't look Regency to me. That doesn't look Regency to me. Ah, it. 4 stars. The Lords of Midnight, all sexy and dangerous men, are introduced in this series starter. The romance, adventure, and sensuality readers expect from Elliot are here, along with an uncomfortable hoyden heroine and an enigmatic hero. Lady Alexa Hendry definitely walks into the famous gaming hell, the wolf's lair, to obtain information about her brother's whereabouts. She does not care if the payment for the information is a searing kiss that has her yearning for more. Candace Camp, A Winter Scandal. 4 stars. Book 1 in Camp's new Legend of Duwine series is a delicious tale of passion and betrayals. Thea Bainbridge is shocked when she discovers a baby in the church's manger, and livid when she finds the insignia of Gabriel Lord Morecambe. She confronts the arrogant rake and demands that he provide for his child. Gabriel is not used to having his character questioned, especially by the vicar's spinster daughter. When the baby turns out to be the child of his long-lost sister, Gabriel and Thea team up to find her. See what happens there. Grace Burrows. Virtuoso. Dude. Again, I guess the clothing is Regency, I guess, but it just doesn't give me that Regency vibe. 4 stars. Burroughs creates memorable heroes who steal readers' hearts, but also admirable women to tame them and plot lines that entice. When the talented pianist and composer Lord Valentine Wyndham has problems with his hand that curtail his playing, he is devastated. But winning a crumbling country estate in a wager presents him with a new challenge and a beautiful widow. Ellen Markham fears she is about to lose her home to her husband's ruthless relative when Valentine arrives as the new owner, and she decides to solve her problems with seducing him. We'll see how that goes. An unusual book to be concluded in um, our Regency section, including a book by a man, is also unusual to be included It's not. Oh, yes, it is. Um, so it's different to have a man's book in a Regency section, but it is a lone, and this will show up in one of my Christmas episodes. Um, 4.5 stars. No, 4 stars. William W. Johnstone with J.A. Johnstone, A Lone Star Christmas. This 1890 Texas. This exciting visit to the Old West of gunfights and cattle drives. There are many familiar faces from previous stories. Some information is repetitive and seems aimed at those unfamiliar with the Westerns. But the characters hit the trail, the story draws one in, and the world fades away. When Tom Whitman leaves Boston, he boards the train and just rides until he finds a place that suits his fancy. That ends up being Fort Worth, Texas, where he rescues Rebecca Connors from two obnoxious cowboys. This leads to a job on her father's ranch where his strength and willingness to learn garner him respect from everyone. See what happens there. Um, so that's the end of Regency. The Baker's Wife. This gray one here. Erin Healy, The Baker's Wife. 4.5 stars. Healy's fascinating plot is fast paced and difficult to put down once started. The meaningful the meaningful faith message is communicated through various ways and will help the reader's own faith to grow. The characters are easy to relate to in both their good and bad choices. When Goff loses his job as a pastor, he and his wife Audrey and their son open a bakery to continue sharing their baked items with the community they have grown to love. One foggy morning, Audrey collides with what she discovers is a motorized scooter covered in blood. No body is found, but the scooter belongs to Julie, the wife of the local police detective who was instrumental in Goff's filing. We'll see what happens there. Alexander Tamara, A Lasting Impression. Now that looks like a Regency book. 4 stars. Alexander's new series, Belmont Mansion, has everything historical novel needs, plus some surprises. When Claire Laurent father uses her artistic talent for his own selfish gain, she flees New Orleans and takes a job at Nashville's Belmont Mansion as secretary to Agatha Elkin. Sutton Monroe has his own worries. Everything he holds dear is in ruins, and he's vowed to destroy the man who caused his father's death. Claire needs to prove herself to Attica and Sutton, but she also needs to keep her talents hidden, as they might figure out she is the artist who forged paintings in their gallery. See what happens there. Susan Meisner, A Sound Among the Trees. Four stars. Meisner has a gift for blending historical and contemporary stories. This one feels a bit heavy on the present day drama, but the use of Civil War era letters to enlighten modern characters is a wonderful way to communicate. Marella marries widower Carson and becomes the stepmother to two young children. Unwilling to uproot the children after they have experienced so much loss, Marella and Carson agree that she will move in with him into Holly Oak, the plantation house that is also home to his deceased wife's grandmother Adele. Many believe the house is haunted by Susanna's Adele's great grandmother, too. We'll see what happens there. Karen White. Strangers on Montague Street. 4.5 stars. White's latest will keep you in grip from first page to last. The stalwartness of Jack and Melanie's neurosis are intricate part of the magic of this novel, and this series will not disappoint. Melanie Middleton knows what it's like to be a lonely teenager, so when Jack Trenholm asks her for help with his daughter Nola, she can't say no. In the midst of repairing her historic home, rebuilding her relationship with her parents, trying to figure out where Jack belongs in her life, and turning 40 while still being single, she's faced with a mystery to solve when a dollhouse given to Nola as a gift turns out to house more than wooden figures. See what happens there. Rochelle Ayers, Capital Wives. 4 stars. Readers can always count on Ayers for picturesque descriptions in her stories. You'll feel the warmth of the sun or see the beauty of a colonial home. As her fans know, tasty meals are intricately detailed. Each character's marriage is facing challenges. Relationships may not always fit into nice, tidy packages, but do make for titillating reading. Deanna Marcel and Bethany are each married to powerful players in Washington, D.C. When Bethany has a meltdown at a cocktail party, the other ladies come to her rescue and friendships are born. Event planner Deanna thinks she has a secure relationship with Spencer, and the only thing missing is a baby. Marisol is finding out how much or little her husband values her. See what happens there. Peter Ulner, Love and Shame. 4.5 stars. In this comic yet meaningful tale, Owner takes us through 4 decades in well nuanced vignettes. The story unfolds as if we were polite birds sitting on shoulders of the main characters, experiencing what they experience, and relating those emotions and timeless moments to our own lives. Alexander Popper's life is not easy. As the newest addition to the Popper family of overachievers, struggling Renaissance men and women, and those languish in their own failing and foibles. At last, some meaning comes to Alexander as he studies those closest to him and determines how to sink or swim. AM Daughters in the Nick of Time. 4.5 stars. Daughters last installment of the Sullivan Boys series is a terrific read. There's lots of family interactions and a case that will have readers scratching their heads in frustrations as such lead comes up empty. The romance plot is every bit as wonderful as the rest of the story. After the tragic loss of her husband 2 years ago, Kay Sullivan Lynch is rejoining the real world and the police force she left behind to start a family. Captain Flynn Doyd is no stranger to grief himself, with the death of his wife and son lying heavily on his mind. But he's beginning to look forward to starting over. When these two are partnered in investigate Santa slaying, sparks fly. Another lady that I did a whole video on several times, please check her out. Pat Martin Against the Storm, 4.5 stars. Fans of Martin Reigns of Wind Canyon trilogy are going to love more of this testosterone and honor-laden family. Trace is an upright guy with a predilection for redheads in distress, and Maggie is a redhead with a big problem. The chemistry between them sizzles, the romantic suspense tautly compelling, and the psychological terror racks it up. Former Army Ranger turned PI Trace Rollins knows redheads are nothing but trouble. His ex-wife is the perfect example. Still, Trace is sure Maggie O'Connell needs help, and he figures he can't keep his heart safe as he tries to find out who's stalking the pretty photographer. See what happens there. Shannon K. Butcher, Razor's Edge. 4 stars. 4.5 stars. The chilling second chapter in Butcher's mesmerizing Edge series reveals more evidence of deranged science run amok. Butcher's proficiency at layering her stories with numerous plot threads that lay the foundation for future payoffs tantalizes and keeps readers on their toes. Sparks fly as these sudden protagonists initially clash. Edge operates Roxanne Razor Hart is not thrilled when her boss insists that she work with new recruit Tanner O'Connell. Razor knows Tanner is really there to babysit her. Someone has been following Razor and has broken into her house twice. Then she gets a cryptic email from childhood buddy Jake saying burn everything, they are coming. Tanner recognizes that Razor Stalker has military training. He also looks like a drug addict and appears brainwashed. See what happens there. Brenda Novak, In Close. 4.5 stars. Readers get much more than they bargained for in this must-read, a thriller whodunit from the past. Characters who will keep your eyes glued to the page, a couple whose passion rises off the pages like heat of the pavement in summer sun, and a mystery that won't be solved until the very end. Quiet Pine View is not without its darker side, like the crime spree that recently engulfed it. But the case that's kept Claire O'Toole in its grasp is much older and closer to home. Her mother, Elena, went missing 15 years ago, and her husband died 1 year ago, just after he started looking into Elena's disappearance. Claire is more determined than ever to find out what happened to her mother, and she's allowed her former lover, Isaac Morgan, back into her life to get his help in the search. Shiloh Walker. If you hear her, 4.5 stars. Walker has crafted a tout, scary trilogy opener, deftly weaving multiple storylines together for a real nail biter, and the killer is still on the loose at the end. The language is a bit rough for the characters, but the shine are instantly familiar and fully three-dimensional. Ash, Kentucky is a quiet, small town, or was, until Lena Riddle hears a woman screaming in the woods. Her house, the police find nothing, but Lena knows something evil is out there. Ezra King is a state cop on leave and living in his grandmother's house, which is a couple of miles from Lena. When he hears about the scream she heard, instinct tells him Lena's also in danger. They have no idea what searching the woods will stir up, but the flames of their attraction will certainly not be the only fire in town. Hot. Hot, 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 hot. Oh, and if you close your eyes, if you don't like adult stuff, have a little adult stuff. This magazine gave you everything. All right, let's see now. Oh, I think I missed a Regency. The most dangerous profession, 4 stars. Fans of the continuing Hearst Amulet series will enjoy this edition complex characters and plot. The hunt for a small antique onyx box leads Robert Hurst to Scotland. He's a buyer and seller of antiquities and is employee of the Home Office, but to Moira McAllister, Robert is more. He had her arrested as a spy. She escaped, but escaping memories is another matter, for she and Robert share a history, a common enemy, and a marriage. Moira wishes she could trust Robert. Within minutes of meeting again, she flees. George Aston wants the onyx box too. He takes Moira's young daughter hostage, ordering her to find the box. So, 42 Spectra. A little fancy there. 4.5 stars. Elder creates a unique universe and fills it with dynamic characters, making this novel an exhilarating experience. The tension mounts to a fever pitch as the antagonists eliminate their prey one by one. When a team of scientists travels to a distant planet looking for ore, they encounter alien life forms made of intelligent energy. They look like tiny lights, and everyone exposed to them gets cognitive superpowers. The downside is the exposure to humans kills them. Although two members are adamant the entities are invaluable to human development, the team votes to classify the mission. The team members begin to die. Dean Weston is framed for his ex-wife murder and imprisoned along with Laura Simmons, who witnessed the frame. See what happens there. Laurie Ann Gilman, the shattered. I don't think I have this one. Oh, yes, I do. The Shattered Wine. Lorianne Gilman. The final 4.5 stars. The final volume of Gilman's Reinhardt Ward trilogy is both compulsive readable and full of complicated characters. Not as action packed as the first two volumes, this book happens primarily from Jersey's point of view. It's a good thing he's an interesting and complex protagonist. The constraints of Jersey's world become apparent as the story builds to its climax, which is both unexpected and utter perfection. Young Reinhardt Jersey, after traveling to the ends of the known world and a bit beyond, finally returns home to prepare for what he knows will be the final confrontation with the evil power that's taunting and twisting the lands, Vin, and destroying it from within. Jersey must look deep within himself and reconcile his abilities with the commandments of the Sin Washer. He also shattered the first vine in order to break the power of the Prince Mages. See what happens there. Clay Griffiths, the Rift Walker. And this is the same um cover as the other one. I picked it up by mistake, but it's the same thing. The Vampire, it's got 4.5 stars. Vampire Empire is one of the best fantasy series I've read, set in a unique post-apocalyptic world. The landscape, the peoples, and the incredible gizmos will attack your senses. Their unforgettable characters will stay with you as the tale unwinds. Reading in order is best. 1870 was the great killing when humans were slaughtered to near extinction by the vast vampire clans. These feisty species hung on by dragging themselves and whatever technology they could to the warmest regions of Earth where vampires can't exist. Now in 2020, the race is dependent on unlikely pair who may just be the salvation. 2020, huh? We've already passed that. In the upcoming Vampire Risings, Prince Adela of Ecuador waits her fate in a loveless marriage. The only man she loves and wants in the mysterious Greyfair. Greyfair knows Adela is in danger and he will risk everything to save her. See what happens there. Um, Sci-fi today. The Alloy of Law, Brandon Sanderson. 300 years after the events of Mistborn trilogy, this is an engaging and fun romp of read. The characters really shine in this book. Wax and Wayne are great partners, and their relationships and banter are definitely highlights. Waxalian Ladrim, a twin-born, was returned to the city of Eldon after spending 20 years in the roughs, enforcing the law and acting a rough frontier justice by the way of shooting lawbreakers at lot. Wax needs to make his way in polite society in order to restore his family's fortunes. While at fancy dinner party with Steris, his prospective bride, a gang of criminals takes her hostage, the result of which is an epic gunfight in which Wax and his longtime deputy Wayne feature prominently. See what happens there. Daughter of Smoke. Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Ah, 4.5 stars. Heart-wrenching and beautiful, this novel storyline is addictive and romantic, and the characters, even the secondary ones, are multi-dimensional and interesting. But what stands out most is Taylor's ability to bring to life a sleepy, snowy Prague a sun-drenched Makrish, and a fantasy world entirely of her own making. This magic is seductive and dangerous, as magic should be. And when the focus shifts suddenly from the present to the past, the reader is somehow not thrown off course. In fact, it's there that the book becomes impossible to put down. Keiyu is, at least on the outside, a family, ordinary art student, aside from her blue-haired and tattoos. She's mysterious and seductive, and she's beautiful. But she's lonely, too. Follow her after class, though, and she quickly realizes she's anything but ordinary. By day, she's an art student. By night, she's an errand girl to the devil who raised her from a baby. Enshrined. Enthralled, should I say. Sorry. 4.5 stars. Kelly Armstrong and Melissa Moore. The impressive collection of authors in this anthology does not disappoint. Fans will be pleased to see that most of the stories are extensions of previous series, and those new to these authors' worlds will have no problems finding new favorites. Standouts include Claudia Gray's magical twins in Giovanna, Ali Candy's incredible world building in Leaving, and Jerry Smith's ready story, The Bridge, told in complete verse. So check that out. Oh, look at that. Smoke and Bone. That's a better picture than the other one. Let's leave that for a second. I hope my audio is still there. Ah, mystery. Oh, we skipped one. Beautiful chaos. No, I don't have a picture for it. Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, 4.5 stars. Garcia and Stoll prove their mastery of the Southern Gothic once again. Near biblical plague inspires religious fever from fanatical side characters. The oppressive heat becomes almost a character in itself, and voodoo magic creeps up from the Castor tunnels below Gateland, South Carolina. The ending is perfect, a climax that reveals only part of the mystery while calling out our bluff at the end. So check that out. Sorry, I don't have the book. I wrote down the wrong page number for the picture. Oh. So if I see it, bring it back to you. Mystery. Ah. If you like gumshoe detectives, if you like detectives without computers, if you like detectives that get in a whole lot of trouble if they don't have a cell phone, I read this series. It's easy to read. You start with A, go to B, go to C, go to D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. I waited and waited and waited for Kinsey Malone, our gumshoe detective, to come to the modern era where cell phones and computers existed, and Sue Grafton died. And we will never get there. We will never see what happens next. But she's an awesome author, and the other 25 books are worth checking out. V is for vengeance. 4.5 stars. Leave it to Grafton to play together several fascinating storylines in an intricate braid of murder, blackmail, family loyalty, and perhaps redemption. Kinsey Malone's tough talking PI is loyalty savvy and honorable, yet also vulnerable and at the mercy of her own impulsiveness. Grafton's story unfolds in flashback, but with the improperness of being in the moment, with Kinsey explaining how she wound up with two black eyes and a broken nose on her 38th birthday. It's a story well worth hearing as shoplifting, infidelity, gambling, and murder twine into one explosive climax. When Kinsey Malone spotted a well-dressed middle-aged woman shoplifting and reported her, she never expected to be dragged into a case with so many complications she might not survive it. The woman soon turns up dead, but it was suicide or murder. Kinsey's hired by the woman's fiance to look into it and turns up evidence on professional shoplifting ring, pulling in millions. Then there's the gentleman gangster who wants out of the family business. A philandering husband whose wife is putting her own plans into action. The rich kid with a gambling problem who thought he could beat the system. And the ex-con and his wife are keeping one step ahead of the corrupt and brutal cop. See what happens there. Um, audio, please be here. Audio, please be here. Please be here. Another writer that's been around for a really, really long time. Bonnie Johansson. Iris Johansson. 4.5 stars. From the inception of the Eve Duncan series, the open wound festering in Eve's psyche has been the disappearance of her 7-year-old daughter, Bonnie. At long last, Johansson provides the devastating answers in the gut-wrenching conclusion of the trilogy within a series. There have been many twists and turns in the long simmering mystery, and Johansson pulls out all the stops with dramatic revelations. The mystery of what happened to little Bonnie has placed Eve, Joe Quinn, Catherine Ling, and Joe Gallo in significant jeopardy, but each is determined to find the truth for their own reasons. When they captured Thomas Jacobs, they hope for some answers, but he is killed by a shadowy figure. As they try and locate his new player in the mix, Eve and company realize the answers may lie in the complex, unexpected, and emotionally charged direction. Uh, uh, the Iona sanction. Stars. Corby's series set in Athens is filled with detail, atmosphere, and history, but also humor. The characters feel like people, not as though they were acting out a historical play, and understandable to a modern reader. In the 5th century BC, Nicholas is working for the statesman Pericles as an investigator when a leading citizen of Athens is murdered and a scroll is taken. Pericles sends Nico to find the truth, which takes him to the land of Ionia. With him is a slave girl who claims to be the daughter of the famous diplomat Ephes. The mission is dangerous. Not only will Nico be executed if he's suspected he is a spy, but solving the crime involves a secret that could destroy Athens. Now, I don't do Palace of Blood. Peter Tremaine. Tremaine is the pen name of scholar Pete Ellis, an expert on the ancient Celts and Irish and well known for his series set in 7th century Ireland featuring Sister Fidelma and her companion brother Ida. Not only is the history and culture accurately portrayed, but as a wonderful writer, Tremaine draws the reader into the world and hearts of the characters. Sister Fidelma is sent to investigate the murder of an eminent scholar at the Abbey of Lowsmore. Manuscripts have also disappeared, and the abbey is being thrown into uncertainty. The scholar had returned from a pilgrimage to the Holy Lands, changed in a manner and behavior. A hero to the young monks, that his behavior has become disruptive, and now his death worsens everything. But Sister Fidelma has personal complications. She is considering leaving the order and becoming the official legal advisor to her brother, who is now king. The bishop of the area does not believe this is best for her, and so he sends her to the abbey and the mystery both to gain time and to see if she won't realize her importance to the church. Another series that's really enjoyable that will show up in several of my cozy theories. Caitlin Dunnett. I love this lady. Scorched. See how this computer goes in and out? I have no control over it. I have no control over it. 4 stars. The suspense starts early in the latest mystery featuring Lisa McKinnon, owner of the Scottish Emporium in a small town, Maine. The premise of a mystery lovers convention adds great atmosphere to this delightful whodunit. In May, in Maine, and the Elegant Spices Hotel is hosting the first annual Mainly Cozy Con for mystery lovers. The event will feature actress turned mystery author Yvonne Quinlan. Unfortunately, Jane Niglater, a nasty blogger who trashed Yvonne's latest book, will also be attending. Lise hopes to stay on the sidelines selling her Scottish items to attendees. But when Jane Neglet is pushed off a cliff at Lover's Leap, the conference takes a deadly turn, and Liz is right in the middle of solving the mystery. Fred Vargas, An Uncertain Place. Here. 4.5 stars. Fred Vargas is the pen name for French historian, archaeologist, and best-selling author whose novels feature Commissaire Jean-Baptiste. Commissioner Adamsberg and his team arrive at a conference in London, site of 17 shoes, each covered with foot inside, lined up outside of London's Highgate Cemetery. Adamsberg returns to Paris, delighted to leave the massacre puzzle to the English, but he is called to a murder of an older journalist, ground up and scattered around a room in his house. He finds out the Highgate shoes are all French. Before long, he's on his way to Serbia, following rumors of vampires and vampire hunters and family feuds going back centuries. Sounds weird. Matt Hilton. Slash and Burn. Four stars. Slash and Burn offers non-stop action and a well-developed suspense plot. The main characters are larger than life, yet their actions and choices are credible and justifiable. When Kate Pierce asks Joe Hunter to help her find her missing sister, she calls on his loyalty to her brother, who was a special ops soldier. Hunter and Kate end up in a deadly battle with a bunch of hired thugs who work for sadistic crime lord with his own private army. Kate's tenacity and toughness make her a great match for Hunter. When she is captured, he must rescue her. And just for the hell of it, it's only got 3 stars, I will confess at that point, but I like Charles Finch. Buried at Sea. While the mystery itself is interesting enough, the book takes entirely too long to reach the climax. The time period is 1830s, and the fact that the story takes place overseas can make the language of the book difficult at times. I guess that's why it only got 3 stars. Right. Contemporary romance. Oh, I should have got this from um the other mag. I should have brought the other magazine. I am sorry, I did not. But it had a full page ad in the other one. Baby, it's cold outside. 4.5 stars. As an Alaskan, I can't help but look closely at the details in a book set in my home state. It's an unusual place to live, and fine points are important. Fortunately, Fox does a fantastic job of writing about life in a very small, isolated town and providing a great, accurate setting without taking away from the story. Of all the places Sloane McKinley would travel to help her best friend, she never would have guessed the small town of Indigo, Alaska would be one of them. When her BFF inherits property, the town isn't too happy with its newcomer, but Sloane's charm and legal prowess could save the day. While she's there, she falls for the beautiful yet dangerous wilderness and ruggedly handsome local, Walker Montgomery, but it's the town's favorite son ready to fall in love. Um, I'm gonna do this one. I don't have a picture for it, and I wasn't able to get a copy of it. But it's Nora, and I love J.D. Robb. If you check out my Eve Dallas, Lieutenant Eve Dallas series, um, I did all 60 books last year. Please check all those out. Next, always, Nora Roberts, 4.5 stars. For the newest romantic trilogy, inserts a fun touch of reality into the story by using her beloved town of Boonesboro, Maryland, as the setting and placing her real life inn and bookstore at the center of the story. The youngest Montgomery brother, Beckett, is the focus of delightful tale. With heaping spoonfuls of warmth, romance, and even a dash of ghostly presence, this is a patented gem. When the three Montgomery brothers, writer Owen and Beckett, along with their mother Justin, decide to renovate and run the inn at Boonesboro, they know they have a major project on their hands. Architect and young brother Beck also has another long simmering project he wants to complete, making a romantic move on Claire Murphy Brewster. Beck has his eye on Claire since high school, but she married a soldier and left town. Now widowed, Claire is back with 3 young boys. Is the time finally right for romance? Um, Janet Chaplin. Highlander for the holidays. 4.5 stars. Just in time for the holidays, Chapman delivers a touching and tender romance with a hint of magic. Add in a delightful canine character, and you have a story that will brighten your heart. Chapman excels at featuring characters that face believable challenges, whether they're physical or mental. Jesse Pringle survived tragedy and terror, but both have left their mark to Kate with terrifying flashbacks. Jesse has a stalwart service dog named Toby. Toby can sense with Jesse is about to have a flashback and then warn her so she can get somewhere safe. Wanting to start over, Jessie decides to move to tiny Maine town of Pine Creek, why she's drawn there, Jessie doesn't know, but she quickly learns there is something magical about the town and its people. Ian McGee is immediately attracted to Jessie, but at first he doesn't realize she is the fairy princess druid wizard Roger D. Crow told him about. See what happens there. Excuse me 1 second. Um, uh, Bring Me Home for Christmas. 4.5 stars. 4 stars. The holiday offering in Carr's popular Virgin River series serves up a heartwarming, humorous, and touching tale that seamlessly weaves in new and old characters. In order to see her ex-boyfriend Becca, Tim horns in on her brother's all-male hunting trip to Virgin River. She has a new man and wants to find closure with Denny Cutler, who has broken her heart 3 years ago. But a minor accident leaves her stranded with Denny in his small apartment. He hasn't gotten over her either. He tried to apologize before, but Becca wasn't ready to listen. Forced to spend time together, Denny is sure he can convince her to give him another chance. With the holidays fast approaching, Becca and Denny must must both learn that in love there is no real sacrifice. Wyoming tough. 4.5 stars. A delightful romance with interesting new characters and many familiar faces. It's nice to have a hero who is not picture perfect in books or instincts. Marie Brainette, the privileged daughter of Texas ranch owner, wants to get her dirty hands on a ranch, not just one, and goes to Wyoming to work for Mallory Kirk. Keeping her father's identity a secret, Marie enjoys the hardworking ranch. Mallory sees not only a hardworking ranch hand, but a pretty, delightful young woman, unlike his current girlfriend, who he knows is only with him because he's rich. See what happens there. Christina Sky at Home by the Sea. 4.5 stars. The ever versatile Sky is back with a terrific story of love, family choices, and trust, all knit together with lovely skeins of yarn. Grace Lindstrom has her dream job traveling the world, researching and writing about food. Now she is up for an important project in Washington, D.C. that will keep her in one place. She does miss the small island off the coast of Oregon where she grew up with and her family and friends, but now the work is enough. Everything changes one snowy night when Grace and bomb diffusion expert Noah McKay meet over a dumpster with an abandoned kitten in it. Aww. I want a kitten. I want a kitten now. Where are my co-hosts? They've abandoned me. We did that one. Okay. Kristen Higgins, Until There Was You. 4 stars. Filled with interesting characters and adorable animals, this is a nice, easygoing romance. Bad boy Liam Declan Murphy has returned home a widower with a 15-year-old daughter. The girls all loved him back when he was in high school, including Posey Osterhagen. But then, as now, Posey had a skinny, boyish figure and wasn't able to get any boy's attention, least of all Liam's. Still a sexy babe magnet, Liam has no time for dating, between his almost neurotic need to protect his daughter and his crippling panic attacks. Will Posey help him? Heart of Steel, Melagine Brooke. 4.5 stars. It's Airships Ahoy in the next chapter of Brooke's award-winning Iron series. Talk about dangerous courtship. When last these characters met, she dumped him overboard to a certain doom. During their last confrontation, Yasmin, mercenary captain of the Lady Cozier ship, dumped treasure hunter Archimedes Fox overboard in a zombie-infested land. Like the stories about him indicate, however, never bet against Archimedes or his determination to get back his Da Vinci sketch back. Will they have a romance? Will they not have a romance? Um, Adam, Jacqueline Frank, 4.5 stars. New York Times bestseller Frank makes a welcome return to her Nightwalker's world with a gut-wrenching story that shakes things up. Familiar characters return as demons, vampires, and lycanthropes all struggle against a terrible evil. Among the demons, the fate of Jacob's elder brother Adam remains a painful mystery, for one day centuries ago Enforcer Adam simply disappeared. Back then, although the vampire demon wars were in full swing, when vampire Jasmine ran into water demon Adam, sparks of different kind ignite. In all the years since, Jasmine has never again felt the same premise of incredible passion. Then, when events are at their darkest, a confused Adam suddenly reappears. It's The Bite Before Christmas. 4.5 stars. Today, two of today's premier paranormal authors deliver a terrific anthology. Sam starts off with a gift. The Carticia Argento holiday plans a special twist when she is snowbound and the man who may be her life mate, Teddy Brunswick, is the police chief of Port Henry and well aware of the existence of immortals, but he never dreamed he could run into one while on a winter holiday. In A Holiday from Hell in Frost's Home for the Holidays, as Cat and Bones attempt to have a peaceful celebration, meets with little success. A mysterious family connection arrives to wreak havoc, and to her horror, Cat will have to work with Ian if she's to save her husband. Please go check out my Argento series. We did the Argenos. They're awesome. Marguerite is a fantastic matchmaker. And then go check out the Spark series of the Dragoneskis. Both a great series. We did all those vampires, and you will see those people again at Christmas. We will have a cozy Christmas and a vampire Christmas. Teresa Myers. The Hunter. One and a half stars. You had me at steampunk western. This reviewer was bowled over by concept and thrilled that The Hunter is also well written with characters I can't wait to spend more time with. Got 4.5 stars. Chosen to hunt, the supernatural brothers Colt Winchester and Remington Jackson use steam-powered devices to blast their way across the frontier. Colt has discovered a rift in the world, causing a horrible rise in demonic population. To close it, he will have to do the unthinkable and summon a demon to assist him. The demon he summons ends up being a gorgeous succubus who's willing to bargain in order to become human again. See what happens there. Another series that is well worth checking into. I love the Vampire in America series. Um, the third installment in the Vampires in America series boasts an uber sexy vampire lord and an intriguing heroine and hot sensuality. 4.5 stars. When Sarah Stratton travels from Buffalo to Manhattan to meet her friend Sin for the weekend, she's introduced to Rajamun Gregor, not realizing their paths would cross again. Raj controls New York City, but he is strong enough to seize power from his maker, the vampire Lord Christoph, who has summoned him to Buffalo. Several girls are missing, and the police believe their disappearance is the work of vampires. Raj arrives to discover his master deteriorating into madness, but is not deceived into believing Christoph can be easily overcome. The police investigation brings Raj and Sarah together, and their attraction is potent. See what happens there. And once again, I missed another Regency. I'm forever missing Regencies. Oh no, maybe I'm not. I guess I didn't. I went and picked it up anyway. It's pictured in the book. I'm just going to show it. Probably in the next book, in the next magazine, but I'll just show it. The heroine and the plum by now. I'll show this. I will talk about it next magazine. Next thing. I'm pretty sure it's in the next one. Night Shine. One of my authors. How did I miss 2 books? Right? It's here. I have it. It's here. I know it's here. Oh, this is gonna kill me. It's like right in front of my face. I know it's here. Um. Oh, here it is. What did I tell you? It was right in front of my face. Night Shine. 4 stars. A fantastic combination of action, romance, adventure, and thrills. In this 4th Kindred book, Jen Hans is still willing to do anything to harvest their genetic DNA experiments. Giving the plot page-turning excitement, the depth of the story continues with riveting new characters. Ironically, Psych Sam Task never saw he'd be falling in love with Charlotte Mena. She's put him under the protection of the biotech company Genhans, hunts them to acquire their supernatural DNA. But when Sam's powers fail him, it's up to Charlotte to use her abilities to save him. See what happens there. Lauren Dane, Heart of Darkness. 4 stars. Dane's new Bound by Magic series is off to a fantastic start with this hot and wicked tale. Meryl Owen is fiery, fierce, and fun. Dane has brought a new heroine complete with problematic family legacy to the paranormal scene. Meryl Owen, next in line to run her mighty clan, is one powerful witch. While she rarely sees eye to eye with her mother, she's asked to investigate someone stealing their magic. The thief turns out to be her bondmate, a powerful mating that when activated skyrockets their magic. Yet bonding might take Meryl a bigger target for the mages who are stealing power and killing witches. See what happens there. Um, I'm gonna do this one. I couldn't find it. I would swear I own it, but I could not find it. Um, Not Your Ordinary Fairy Tale, Christine Warren, Christinewarren. 4 stars. Warren has made a name for herself in the world of paranormal romance. She expertly mixes werewolves, vampires, and fairies to create another winning novel in the Other World series. I know I have this over there. I just couldn't find it. New York reporter Corinne D'Alessandro has been assigned a new case to investigate leprechaun sightings. And boy does she have a sighting. Not a leprechaun, but rather a gorgeous fairy and the captain of the Queen's Guard. The channelizing man is going to test her new personal vow, not to date another species. Luke has been assigned to find the Queen's nephew and bring him back. He's wreaking havoc in the human world and bringing danger to the Fae. Meeting Corinne may be the answer to his prayers. He could really use help. But will he end up in bed? Ah, another one I missed. Well, I don't have a picture for this one either. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, let me just show you. Okay, there it was. Not Your Ordinary Fairy Light Tale. Okay, and Pamela Palmer Ecstasy. 'Oh, I forgot another one. Um, 4 stars. Hawk is the latest feral warrior to tell his story and one of the few without his own mate. He doesn't think he'll ever have that chance until Faith enters his life. Hawk knows you don't steal another feral warrior's mate, but that doesn't stop him from wishing Faith was his. It doesn't help that the new fox Maxim treats her more like a possession than a gift. However, when the lost 17 animal spirits start manifesting in new men, the feral warriors thinks their prayers have been answered, but when some of these men start attacking, they realize something else is happening. Just go through these real quick. That we did that, 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 we did that. Did we do? Yes, we did Nightshine. We did Nightshine. Okay. Rebecca the Nettie. Uh, it only got 3 stars, but it was here, so I'll just include it. Claimed. Zanetti's Kai's Vampire Family Saga continues with the second installment, which can be read as a standalone, although reading the first book might help with the complicated cast of characters and plot. The book intrigues with plenty of foreshadowing but provides no wrap-up. Zanetti's creative makes one wish that she had applied that last imagination. Okay, maybe we'll skip that one. Also, the one next to it also got 3 stars. So I just sort of bring that up too. Um, Kathy Lev, 3 stars, devilishly hot. This lighthearted tale is based on the clever idea that a top fashion magazine is infested with a nest of fashionista demons. Okay, maybe we'll skip that one. I don't have a picture of this, and I don't have it. I have all the others, so I'm just gonna put it up there. Probably does exist in here someplace. Eileen Wilkes, Eileen, and then Wilks. Death magic. In the war between two old ones, humans, lupi, and other supernatural races are foot soldiers and puzzle pieces to be manipulated. Wilkes' long-running lupi series takes some very interesting turns in this most recent entry. Now, if that was the top, nope. Let me just take a quick look. Nope. Okay, so we're just gonna go through it. Both Lily and you and FBI boss Reuben Brooks are still recovering from dual assassination attempts. They know that there is at least one traitor in the FBI. Reuben and Rule Turner, Lily's Lupe fiance, decide to form a shadow unit comprised of supernatural and trusted humans, one which will stay outside the standard chain of command, a group Lily's conscience will not allow her to join. Then a senator with ties to the humans' first group is murdered, and Reuben is the prime suspect. This is a really good series. I've got several of these books. You should try them out. Uh, Lily and you and Rule make a good couple. Yasmin Galan, Courting Darkness. Uh, 4.5 stars. Galon never shies away from forcing her protagonist into dealing with devastating emotional or physical blows in her Otherworld series, but this novel really tests Camille Diago's limits. Upon her return from the Northlands, Camille doesn't get a chance to get inside her home before she is called away to a new crisis. A message has been sent warning Camille that her dragon father-in-law Hido is hunting her and is determined to destroy both Smokey and herself. Events quickly deteriorate when the Diago sisters' friend and ally Chase is snatched through an otherworld gateway. As Camille and Delia try to rescue Chase, they learn of more trouble brewing. Then the unthinkable happens and Camille is captured by Hido. See what happens there. Um, Jacqueline Carey, Saints Astray. What is this? 4 stars. In Carrie's second offering, the sequel to Santa Olivia, we return to the story of the heroine's struggle to fight for what she believes in. Orphans Lupa Garin and Pierre Pilar have just escaped a facility where genetic engineering was common practice. Now on the run, the two must find a way to rescue the others and reunite with those left behind. See what happens there. Where did this one come in handy? Another really good vampire series. Chloe Neal, Drink Deep, 4 stars. 3 cheers for Chicagoland Vampire series and Nell's latest edition. The story picks up hard where Hard Bitten left off. Merritt is mourning the loss of Ethan. It's a loss that permeates her spirit and sets the tone for the book. Merritt is still reeling from the death of Ethan, who's not dead. The river and lake have turned back and are sucking magic from the city. Cardigan House is falling apart under the rule of GP appointed jerk. Merritt's abilities are changing and tearing her apart. Every chance change pulls her further from her connection from Ethan. As friends and loyalties change, Merritt may not be prepared for the biggest change of all. Another one of my favorite authors. Darkness Rising, Carrie Arthur. Arthur G keeps them coming. Darkness Rising, the second in the Dark Angel series, picks up right where Dark Unbound left off. With the death of Riza's mother. Riza is still mourning her mother when her father rears his ugly head. She's the secret to finding the book and the keys to the gates of heaven and hell. Those keys have all the power. Riza's friends are in danger if she doesn't comply, and of course nothing comes easy. Riza is instructed by the leader of the vampire council, Madeline Hunter, to find out what is stealing the life from the other council members and driving them mad. All right, into Harlequin. Texas Rangers Christmas, Rebecca Winters. 4.5 stars. Divorced Texas Ranger Cage Dawson's life is wrapped around his special needs son and his work, but he's seriously considering leaving the job to take up ranching again, so he can give the child all the attention he needs, at least until his superiors hand over a 5-year-old missing persons case. Going undercover brings Cage into the possible widow's orbit, and things start getting complicated, especially as the missing man's case dovetails with 2 murders. Maya Banks, again, 3 books. A Wanted by Her Lost Love. Even for 20 stars, even though he believes she'd had an affair with his brother, a millionaire Ryan Beardsley has never stopped trying to find his runaway fiancée Kelly Christian. When he tracks her down pregnant and ill, he puts all his frustrations aside to care for her. Jan Hambright, Camouflage Cowboy. 4 stars. Single mother Grace Marshall arrives in town looking for a lead on the woman who gave her up for adoption. Maybe the only person who can save her dying son. Former Ranger and Corpse Security Investigations member Nick Kavanaugh is torn between his special assignment for Governor Lila Lockhart and his promise to keep Grace safe from her murderous ex-brother-in-law. A Moment on the Lips, Kate Hardy. Or stars. With her youthful indiscretions behind her, Carez is determined to make success of her family's ice cream empire. After she refuses to sell company to Dante Romero, Dante wants nothing more to do with the spoiled princess, but his loyalty to her grandfather means he can't refuse her unexpected request for mentorship. Dante wants to keep their relationship focused on business and his feelings under wraps, but other things get in the way. Ellie Kennedy. Missing Mother to Be. The Kelly family saga continues in this convincing tale of mercenaries' redemption and a kidnapped woman experiencing Stockholm Syndrome. 4 stars. Temporary rancher. Super romance. Oh, 4 stars by Ann Evans. After a divorce leaves Riley Palmer and her 2 young children living with Riley's sister Jillian, Riley applies for a job as a ranch manager for Quantico Evanco, conveniently leaving out the fact that she's a woman. But when Quinn realizes he's hired a woman with 2 small children, he's sure she's not right for the job, but he gives her a chance. So, I think that's the end here. They only got 3 stars. So there we have it. I hope you found an author. I hope my audio stayed intact. I hope you will check out my daily book reviews, my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday, and my If Thens on Friday. October we did All Halloween. November we will do Thanksgiving themed, and December we will do Christmas. So please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much.